Okay, this was a pretty cool long battle we had here against Reslaur, I think this guy's name was. He's one of the first guys ever to actually challenge my YouTube account, so how could I say no to that? So he leads with the Reslaur, and I go with Mama Swine here. Recently I've been setting up while they set up, and that's not generally good, because that means that people overpredict what I'm going to do. So I generally just go for an attack these days. As you see, I managed to get the Earthquake up on it, do some good damage. And now I get to set up my thing, and I figure no point going for another attack because he's done what he's here to do, and I don't think he wants to take another Earthquake. So the Stealth Rock comes in comes Wheezing. And Wheezing is not something I want to see right now, because this team bases on entry hazards with spikes and toxic spikes, and that is a Pokemon that's not going to care about most of them. Stealth Rock's pretty much the only thing that's going to do much about that, and it's got Black Sludge by the looks of it, which is going to eliminate the Stealth Rock damage pretty quick. So Weezing's going to be a massive problem, but there's not really much it can do to Tentacruel apart from explode. And if it does explode, then it cures its problem for me. So I'm just going to carry on sticking in here, setting up more entry hazards, and get rid of the Stealth Rock with a Rapid Spin. And there we go. Hits me with he's going with T-Bolt here. That surprises me really, because I didn't expect a T-Bolt from this thing. Maybe Sludge Bomb or something. But T-Bolt is quite a cool move. It's not doing much to me because this Tentacruel is built to take super effective Earth Power from Heat Rans, so a T-Bolt on a Weezing isn't going to do much. I set up my last layer of Toxic Spikes, and in comes this thing. I've forgotten its name, Claydol. Whenever I see that thing, I think it's going to Rapid Spin or it's going to explode, which basically tells me go to a Ghost. So that's exactly what I do. To a Ghost, and it's probably going to Rapid Spin. So in comes a Ghost, and it Rapid Spins. There we go. So dodge Rapid Spin, and now I want to see what it does. So I've set up a Taunt because I'm expecting a Calm Mind or something, and he goes with Toxic. I haven't seen a Toxic on one of these things, I don't think, ever. So that caught me off guard. And I get hit by Poison, but now I've hit it with Taunt. I'm thinking it's maybe going to switch, but I don't know. And to scout out, I think Pain Split is going to be a good idea, just to see what it does. But it sticks in there and hits me with Earthquake. Or do I hit it with Will-O-Wisp? I've forgotten. No, I do go with Pain Split. I was just scouting out there just to see if it'll switch. Because when you hit a wall with Taunt, especially one that's obviously a Toxic stall, they tend to switch around. But this one didn't. And it's sticking in here with the Earthquake. And as you can see, it's whittling me down there pretty bad. I keep on thinking it's going to switch, so I don't go with the Sucker Punch. And now I can see that it actually does have Protect, so it is a full-on Toxic stall one, so I want to get the hell out of here. I think it's obvious that I am going to switch out here. I'm a bit worried that he will Rapid Spin, but it turns out he doesn't. And I predicted maybe he wanted to go with an EQ as well, and turns out he tried to double Protect on me, and I get the Intimidate on it. Threaten a Waterfall, obviously, but he'll probably live that anyway because it's a wall. So I don't want to lose all my all the entry hazards there. So I go with Doku, and Rapid Spin blocks it again. Reset Toxic, and see if I can get a Pain Split on this thing and get it down there. So we're waiting for the see what to do here. He goes for the Protect, gets some more stall on it. Pain Split, obviously I'm going to Pain Split again after this. Because of the Intimidate, it's not going to finish me off, and I'm going to get all my health back, which is pretty neat. All the work that this Claydol's been doing is about to be for nothing, so that's cool. So I Pain Split it now, and after an Earthquake usually fails to KO, I know that he's not going to do another one. That's the one move I definitely know he's not going to do. So I'm free to switch into Lucario, thinking the Specs Shadow Ball will be pretty nice, and I don't have to worry about Toxic or Protect. But it turns out he's a pretty epic. He does a pretty epic predict here, and he sees what I'm doing here with switching around, and he actually gets a Rapid Spin on the way out, and there goes all the hard work of setting up all the entry hazards. So I'm gonna have to set them up again in a minute, and so that's pretty bad. But now I'm here with a Specs Lucario with a Shadow Ball for him, and this dog likes to play with Shadow Balls, and go fetch the Shadow Ball, and it doesn't actually kill it, which shocked the hell out of me, really. These Lucarios have a massive special attack, and that was super effective with specs. I know it's not stab, but I wasn't expecting it to live, and I guess that's why the Earthquake didn't kill, because it's obviously max special defense or something, because that thing freaking survived, and I was not expecting that at all. Go to Atlas, set up some more stealth. I was predicting a switch there actually to something, thinking he may keep it alive, and I switched on a protect, but because he stayed in there, he's probably going to rapid spin or something, so I have to go with the Ice Shard just to finish it off. Now the Ice Shard has finished that thing off, he doesn't have a rapid spin anymore, so my priority is setting up Stealth Rock again. He brings in Houndoom. I thought long and hard about what to do, really. Should I go down to a Sash yet? In the end, I decided it is worth going down to a Sash. So I set up Stealth Rock, and I thought I was faster than him, and I thought I'd get to see what move he'd do. But apparently, I don't know how fast Houndooms are, and he's actually faster than me, even though I'm jolly. So I set up Stealth Rock. He hits me down to my Sash. And I want to save this Mamoswine's Endeavour for the Wheezing, because that's going to be a massive pain to try and get around. It's not going to be affected by entry hazards, and it knows T-Bolt, so Gyarados is going to be fearful of it. He goes to the Flamethrower, probably because he's seen Lucario, and he doesn't want to Dark Pulse that coming in. Get some more Black Sludge leftovers. I'm predicting a switch here, and he goes for the Dark Pulse. I actually flinch here, which doesn't mean anything, because I was predicting a switch, and I was going for a Screech, which would have lowered the defense of the Houndoom. And because I got the flinch there, I thought, oh, I just got to get some damage on this thing, just in case it's sashed. I've got to make sure that it doesn't sweep my team. So I go for the Waterfall, and it's going down, and I thought it was a crit, but turns out it's not a crit. That thing just flat out died to Tentacruel's Waterfall, and that's not a very strong Waterfall. So that shocked me there, and it just shows that the Dark Pulse didn't matter at all. He brings this thing in, and obviously he's seen Doku, the Dark type, lying around, so Psychic isn't probably going to happen. I think I might be able to survive whatever he throws in, and I don't survive, which didn't shock me, but as I see it doesn't have Life Orb, I think, alright, that thing must be Specs, it must be. So I send in this thing, knowing that it doesn't have... Actually, I don't think it has anything for Skarmory that I can think of off the top of my head. Maybe Focus Blast? Yeah, but I know it's Specs now. Set up some entry hazards. Do what I can. This thing's come in, it's already T-bolted. So I've got to figure out what it wants to do now. I'll go to Doku, so it'll take whatever it wants to dish out, and I can get a Pain Split on something. Unfortunately, with all the entry hazards I've set up, it means that he ends up going to his Regirock, and it takes all the entry hazards, and it ends up being lower than I actually am now, and I end up giving health to it, which was a hell of a good predict on his part, and I have to give him kudos on that, because that was pretty damn awesome, and it screwed Doku over here a lot. And here it comes, takes all the punishment from the entry hazards, and the Pain Split screws me over. Not to mention I'm getting poisoned the whole time. Now, this is the biggest mistake of the match here. I need Endeavour on the Mamoswine to take care of the Wheezing, and I know that. And for some reason, I'm seeing the Regirock there. I'm thinking, Skarmory, that can't be touched by it at all. Completely forgetting that I've lost my spinner already, and Stealth Rock puts up. And as soon as I push the button to bring Skarmory in, I realised that. But unfortunately, you can't cancel attacks. So I switched out there, knowing full well he's going to Stealth Rock, and that's a massive asset of mine. It's going to be screwed over there because Mamoswine's out of this match now. He gets a crit, which doesn't really mean anything. I'm just going to roost that off. I toxied it because I don't really have anything to do with it. And that's another reason why I shouldn't have brought Skarmory in. I mean, yeah, I cannot be touched by it, but there's not really a lot I can do to it. And he brings this thing back in, which obviously has Flamethrower and Thunderbolt, which KOs pretty much all the rest of my team, so I really should avoid being sucker bait for this thing coming in. So I try and figure out what it wants to do. I think in the end I just use Mamoswine as fodder just to see what it does do. Here comes the Mamoswine. Maybe I get lucky and it'll be a Thunderbolt. Oh, but I got dead by Stealth Rock anyway, so luck has nothing to do with it. I'm thinking what to bring in now, and bring in Doku again. I go with a Will-O-Wisp just in case something stupid happens. I don't know why I brought Doku in there. I was a bit stupid looking back at it because it was a free kill to an Alakazam with Sucker Punch. So I'm not quite sure what I was thinking here. He brings in Regirock. Now when this comes in, this gets me thinking. Now this thing's in, it's obviously going to die from poison in a while, and the only real chance I got now is to use my Gyarados. And Gyarados actually turns out to be, wasn't turned out to be, I made it. It's a Flail Gyara, and that might have a chance against the Weezing. So I'm thinking, if I die now, as he Earthquakes me, he's going to have a turn of poison. And if I can get a Dragon Dance while he dies to poison, then I'm going to be able to outspeed the Alakazam, and then I'll be able to sub down to hopefully a good number to hit off a superpower flail on the Weezing, and maybe I can get a sweep guy. So that's what I'm thinking here. And I take some Stealth Rock, which is not really any problem. That pretty much does exactly the same as a sub, so you don't have to worry about that. So pray it doesn't have Stone Edge, and pray it doesn't explode as I get the Dragon Dance. Because if I went for a sub and he hit and he took out the sub, then I really would be screwed. Because then he would be he'd die from the Toxic, and then the Alakazam could just come in and finish me off because I won't be faster. So I had to get the Dragon Dance in there. He went for Superpower. I don't know why. I guess this thing just has. I don't know what its last move is. It's got to have something, right? But yeah, it hits me down to half, which is pretty much perfect. So now I've got to get this the Flail going here. So I've already got the Dragon Dance, so I know I'm definitely going to be faster than Alakazam or anything that comes in. Hit up one sub, he T-bolts it, and I'm looking at my HP there, and it turns out I'm going to sub down to 4 HP, which is exactly where I want it to be. That means that I'm going to get a full-powered Flail off at 200 base power. So I sub again. What am I thinking? There's nothing to think about. Yeah, this is pretty much the last gasp we got going on here. So I sub down to 4, get a Lychee Berry boost on my attack. He finishes off the sub, and I don't know whether he's seen a Flail Gyara or not before, but certainly going to be interesting here. And his Black Sludge just gets into full health there. So +2, 200 base power Flail, here we go. Max attack, and it's going down, and down, and down. And it looked like it killed it, but it didn't. He told me it actually lived with 4 HP, and that sucks. It sucks big time. Hiccups, excuse me. Yeah, that sucks big time, because that Gyara was pretty much my last hope of getting past that Alakazam. I send out Ironside, and I go for the Shadow Ball just in case he brings in Alakazam or something. Just hoping for a 3-0 or something stupid, but he plays it safe. Alakazam comes in, and I try and switch out to Skarmory, predicting Psychic, which is what happened, hoping that maybe it'll be a 3-hit KO, I can roost off and get some Drill Peck, and then sweep with Specs Vacuum Wave, maybe. But it turns out that the Psychic is more than enough with Specs, so I'm just going to KO the Skarmory, 2-hit KO the Skarmory, and Vacuum Wave, even with a crit, which I don't get, is not going to touch the Alakazam. So it was a hell of a good game, pretty close in a few places. I made a stupid mistake with the Stealth Rock, which I probably shouldn't have done. Clicking too many buttons too fast, I guess, because I realized my mistake like half a millisecond after I hit the button. But that's Pokemon, you just got to deal with it, and hell of a good game. I say that my heart was in my mouth when that was going down on the Weezing. And GG, I've got to have a rematch with you one day. See you guys around soon.